the magic of this fun and focused 4-figure offer. It really does defy a lot of what classic marketers and marketing will tell you, but it's been this like one leverage point that I found to be insanely effective. So that is the ultimate goal here. Why and how? Why is it so important to me? Why do I believe in this so much? Because from day one, it's been the thing that's just driven my business. So on my 26th birthday, I was still in corporate. I was but I took a sabbatical. I was doing a pro bono project with a fitness company out here in San Diego. And during that time, I was working with business coaches. I really wanted to like build that foundation to get my own business off the ground. And so during my time with this company, I was doing some customer interviews, had an interview with a person who I identified to be just a really great prospect, someone who might be a good client for me. So working with my business coaches, I, went through like, what should I offer? How should I pitch this? And their wisdom was like, price really high, price higher than you think you can, and negotiate to something that's, reasonable. So what I did was I built up like what would be my ultimate project, which was going to spend 2 months in the UK with this guy and completely help him redesign, realign, and revamp his business. I took my previous consulting rate from the firm, and what that came out to be was $26,000. So I went through this really nice long pitch. And at the end, I said, for everything, it's gonna be 26,000. Actually, it was 18,000 pounds because of the UK. And I held my breath there, stayed quiet. It was like the most tense 10 seconds of my life. But at the end of that, here's what I heard. It was, Matt, with this power of this presentation, that's exactly the number I expected. So basically with some discussion back and forth, we cut the project scope a little bit, and he said yes to a $15,000 project. So from there, I became a high ticket, 5-figure international consultant, the fun thing I like to say, within one project. So that to me, like really rewired my brain. I was like, okay, high ticket's where it's at. I gotta learn how to systemize this, and do this with more and more clients. And here was actually my post to my business coaches in the business coaching group when I landed that. Just sold a $15,000 engagement. Oh my God, I was just elated. I was so happy. But it's funny. I was looking through this today, and I was like, all right, I sold $15,000 consulting engagement. Oh my God, going to do this before I start the new full-time consulting gig. I was still start the new full-time gig. I was still in that mindset of like, I don't have enough experience to do this full-time, even though I just landed this big project. So it's just funny to look back to see where my head was at back then and what it really took to get this out there. But this was the start of everything for me. Then at my next company, it was a fitness company. They had been in the game for a long time, really OGs in the fitness market, and had a lot of amazing information, tons of great followers, but really didn't spend much time on marketing. So instead of like reinventing the wheel, what we did was pulled everything that they had together, their core competencies, into like this one certification that really encompassed everything they'd ever created for the fitness coach who wanted to teach kids fitness. And because it was all pulled together, we put some really nice branding around it, and really got clear on what it was, who it was for, and what it would do for that person, the benefits. We were able to multiply the price by 3 from what their previous certification was. And through a strategic marketing plan, we sold 100 of those certifications at about $1,300. And then we also had their franchise program, did the same thing, got really clear on who it was for, on what it was for, and increased the price of it. And we tripled the size of that thing. And then this year, when I brought it all together into my own business coaching, I sold 17 high ticket packages. 8 of them are at 5,000 plus. And it's been without a website, with no paid traffic, with no SEO, no cold calls, really no formal sales training. Just really having this super clear, fun, focused offer that I love delivering, that I know creates so much impact for my clients. And it's a promise that I can make when I'm with them when I'm with my prospect on the phone. I can really make that promise saying, hey, you're going to get this, and after this, you're going to have this, and here's the results we're going to get. And when I can stand by that promise, it's one of those things that they just can't afford not to do it. So that's really where we're going to be working today to create that thing for you guys, create your own version of it. So this is why I'm so into this domain of coaching, but it also works for my clients too. I have all my clients really start with these high ticket packages, these high value packages. And here's just some of the feedback I've gotten this year, some of the success stories. These ones that are circled, these with the red outline, these are actually new coaches. These are people who started their business this year. The transformational experience facilitator, he was someone he was a psychotherapist for 17 years, but after he climbed a mountain with Wim Hof, realized that he couldn't do traditional couch therapy anymore. So he wanted to pull together really everything that's he's learned in Tony Robbins with Wim Hof, with psychotherapy into his own program. So he did that, was able to launch it, and was able to, continually to land these high value clients consistently, because it's really that thing that he stands by. It's that thing that he knows is really the most powerful and impactful thing that he can deliver. This men's life coach up here in the top right, person in corporate, left corporate, put his skills together into one program and has been selling it at a high ticket. And then down here, mindset coach, same thing. Like, this guy was, not even thinking about doing the coaching full-time. He just kind of put out an offer into the world, started putting his message into the world, and kind of accidentally landed a client. So this is a thing that you can do now. So many people undervalue their experience, their story. So many people have that imposter syndrome, but if we can move beyond that and value the skills, the experience, and wrap that up into something super clear for a specific type of person, then the results are guaranteed, and we can put out these high value offers that people will want to buy. So I want to run an experiment of low ticket versus high value. Really, I want to, in the beginning of this, wrap our heads around, why this is the route that I recommend going forward for coaches. And I don't want it to just be my recommendation. I want it to be you guys having an understanding of how this might apply to your business model and why it might or might not work for you. 20 clients at $500 per month, or 2 clients at $5K. Revenue is the same. Which group would you choose? And so what I'd like you to do here is pull out a piece of paper and separate it down the middle into 2 columns. One is the 20 clients, one's 2 clients. And just put a check mark next to the answer to each of these questions. So which of these buckets of clients would take more of your time? 20 at 500 or 2 at 5K? Which would take more energy? And this is which would take more of your own energy, your effort to deliver. Which would you rather manage and fulfill upon? Which would give you more room to play, to experiment, to really do what you need to do to find that specific project arrangement that aligns best with who you are and who you are serving. Which will give you more space to over deliver, right? The goal here with our offer is to deliver exactly on the expectation as promised, but it's a beautiful thing when you leave yourself room to over deliver. Which of these buckets, 20 clients at 500 or 2 at 5K, will give you more space for that? Which clients would be more compliant, more bought in to your process? Where would you be able to have more of an impact on your client's life and on your own? And so now take your paper and look at where all your check boxes are. And I think the box with the least check boxes is going to be the box with, determine which of these questions are positive, which ones you want, and which are negative. I probably should have done that, but that's okay. You get the idea. And which box would you choose? Which bucket would you choose? And I would venture to guess that, going back to these questions, which take more of your time. I'm just going to answer for myself. 20 clients will take way more time. 20 clients will take more energy. I would much rather deliver with 2 clients. With 2 clients, I'd have more room for experimentation, more room to over deliver. With 2 clients, they have way more skin in the game, and there's way more on the line there. So that's why I believe they would be more compliant to the process. And I would absolutely have more ability to create impact in my client's life if I'm one-on-one with 2 of them, up close and personal on a daily, weekly basis. And on my own life, I'll have more time and energy. And I'll learn more from the 2 clients. So that is the power of high ticket. A few paying clients equals less work, same money. Less work equals more time and energy to create deeper impact on your business and other areas of your life and your client's life as well. So that's, really in a nutshell, like what this high ticket thing, this high value offer thing is all about. But I do want to say that it's not that you can't have lower ticket offers. It's not that you can't serve a ton of people in your work. You absolutely can. This is the traditional marketing funnel that I'm sure, as you've started to dive into digital marketing, as you start diving into marketing in general, you'll come across some version of this. You've probably purchased a course, a workshop, something based on a funnel like this. And the way this works is, the traditional methodology is that there's a whole bunch of people in the world, and, you got to put out something for free in order to get some people to take an action towards your stuff, to get, interested in what you have to offer. And if they like that thing, then they're going to buy your next thing, but, they might not be ready to buy the big thing. So they buy a cheaper thing and then a more expensive thing. Then ultimately they get to your most premium project. Now, in a sense, in essence, this methodology is not wrong. And as far as the, ClickFunnels is the company, Russell Brunson's really the guy that's taken this methodology and made it super mainstream for marketers, for entrepreneurs, and easy to create your own marketing funnels like that. And these are pages from his books. And what this funnel represents is that value ladder. It's giving someone something for free, something for more expensive, more expensive, more expensive, more expensive. And again, that theory, that methodology makes sense. But the problem is that I believe so many people do it backwards. They follow this route of, the free stuff, the less expensive stuff, then the more expensive stuff, and then ultimately that final thing. But here's why I don't believe that that's effective. I don't think that's effective. I think the big problem with that is when you start with, your lower offers, your free offers, your lower ticket offers, and you move on to a higher and higher price one, then what you're kind of doing is you're just piecing together this puzzle, and eventually you're getting to something that's unvalidated, unproven. So we want to, with this process, we want to be able to, as we take people across our own customer journey, we want to deliver more and more value, and we want them paying more and more. And this should be exponential along the way. So if we are taking someone from this left side to the right side, we want to ensure that everything we bring them to next is the thing. It's right. It's seamless. It is convergent. It's providing more and more value. It's progressive. It's meaningful. But we can't do that if we don't have a validated offer on the right side. So here's what I propose is that let's create our fun and focused 4-figure offer, that ultimate expression of who you are, what you do, and how you can serve your client most powerfully. Let's validate that. Let's run that with a bunch of people and know that we have our, this is the thing we do one-on-one with our clients, so that we can then backtrack and we can, first what we do is we sell that to our current market, because over the course of your life, you develop people who really trust you they trust you as a person. They trust you for that specific thing that you're naturally good at and you're interested in, whether that's health, fitness, yoga, spirituality, finance, right? People, they come to you for your specific skills, and they know that's you. So what you can actually do is create this high ticket offer, put out to your current network, and people are going to be ready to buy. So then what we can do is we test this 4-figure offer, make it great, improve it, realign it, refine it, And once we know we have that thing on the back end, then we can start to fill in the gaps. And it's not even necessarily that there's gaps. Then we can start to really, then it's putting the grease in the engine. It's creating this comprehensive customer journey where every single piece, whether it's the free giveaway, whether it's that mini course, right? All of those things directly align to what your high value offer is on the end. So I think going backward, like if you do go backward, if you do start with, the low ticket stuff and the high ticket stuff, I think eventually when you get to the high ticket, you're going to have to go back and, realign and redo everything on this left side. So instead, let's prove this great offer. Let's make some money up front, because no one makes money initially on, $10 courses. And then we can start having those $10, $100, $1,000 courses be the drivers into our fun and focused 4-figure offer. And then once we have that, we have our engine running, then it's time to play. It's time to experiment. It's time to, potentially create a new higher ticket offer, right? Maybe a retreat, a summit, right? Once we have this engine right here, we have the ability to create that recurring revenue, the ability to create those newer programs. High value equals high impact. And when you're high impact, it equals high income. I build my business so that income is a byproduct of impact. And, when we think about how do we create the most impact, I have come up with this specific principle, the specific way. And it's really an amalgamation of like everything I've learned and read and, from like all the great books. But when I asked the question, like, what is it that really, like, what are the few elements that really matter within a business? Like boiled down. I was an engineer back in the day, so I always want to find those key leverage points that really matter so that we can focus on them. So when you meet your perfect psychographic, right? When you meet that person who you can serve most powerfully and you understand their primary problem and you can solve that primary problem with your unique process, then boom, we have this ultimate prize. This is the point at which the most value can be created. Like really the most value between two humans can be created when you meet someone who is your type of person. You can solve their specific problem with your unique process. That's creating the most amount of mutual value. And the best way, the most seamless way that we can do this, really, I think the only way that we can do this most powerfully is with one-on-one high value work, one-on-one high value, unscalable work, not scaled low ticket products. So that is really where we want to aim as we start to think about our offer. This is where we want to aim it. But why fun and focused, right? We know we want these high value offers, these high impact offers, but let's even amplify them, right? There's a lot of people doing these high value offers, but let's make them our own. And when as I've been running my offer this year and been working with more and more clients, I want to, again, go back to that principle of like, what are the key drivers, the key inputs, the key metrics here that make this thing work so well? Or when it's gotten better, what have been the things I've focused on that have made it better? So I've come up with these two metrics, and that's fun and focused, to be two of the things that really create the most fulfilling experience for you and for your client. Not only is this, making a fun and focused offer more fulfilling than like just a regular plain old business offer. It's really key to penetrating this new market. There are more and more people going online every day. There are more and more coaches. There's more and more guides. There's more and more mentors, more and more healers, right? So how do we differentiate? And I think the way to differentiate is really just to get to the core of who you are and what you do what you do, not even what you do differently, like who you are, what is your most authentic, your best expression of what you can possibly deliver. And that's going to be what's going to differentiate you. It's not about trying to differentiate. So why fun and focus? Because so many others are boring and commoditized, right? How many times have you seen, I help you lose fat, gain muscle, I help you live your best life, I help you make money online, right? Those are just commoditized. You see an ad that says that and we scroll past it because it doesn't speak to us, because it's been, it's fatigued us because there's so many of those out there. Then we see many desperate and open-ended offers that they just yell low value, right? Access for life. I help you with anything you need. I put my clients first. I'm available 24/7, discount. These things just scream low value. I even have a friend who is a really, really successful consultant making so much money. But one thing that he does is he says to his clients, I'm available 24/7. and he really is. And he, while he's made so much money, he is on the edge of burnout. And I know that he's going to have to refine and realign his business in order to create more of that freedom, more of that fulfillment, more something that fits into the lifestyle he wants to live. So rather than being boxed into that business, a prison business that he's built for himself, he's going to have to realign. So let's do that from the start. Let's do something that's really limited and not completely open-ended. And then so many others out there are selling these confusing things like, and I've seen all these are ones I pulled from Instagram. I'm a surrender coach. I'm a life success guide. I'm a personal life consultant. I just don't know what those things mean. And so, I'm not necessarily going to be interested because confusing doesn't sell. Confused people don't buy. The good thing is that when you are clear, compelling, and confident, you become a signal in the noise and the market will respond. Your market will respond. So the pillars, the core pieces of what this fun and focused offer comprise of is time is a big one. So instead of using all of our time with our clients, let's tell our clients exactly how much time and energy each thing will take so that both of us can be hyper-focused on creating that impact and we both can bring our best, right? So one of the big things that prevents effectiveness is ambiguity. When neither party knows exactly what the expectations are, then it's tough for people to show up, and it's tough for the coach, the consultant to actually deliver. Expectations along those lines, instead of trying to meet the client's expectations, let's lay out all the expectations up front so that clients know exactly what they're getting. And when we deliver upon every single expectation, there's really a 0% chance of dissatisfaction. Big one here is investment. Instead of doing, so much but earning just enough, like let's build something that our clients get excited about this investment. Let's put it in a frame where, hey, the reason why this price, you should be scared to invest in this. You should have some fear to invest in this because you're putting skin in the game, and it's going to be one of the factors that drives you to success, that drives you to be able to really play full out. Fulfilling. Instead of overpromising and never really delivering on these big promises just to get the sale, let's build that specific program where we can deliver perfectly on every single promise and virtually guarantee the results so that the clients get what they pay for and you have room to over deliver. And then, all right, so we know we want a high value offer. We want to be fun and focused, but why 4 figures? And kind of like everything I do, like this presentation, I want to have full transparency, full authenticity, and full truth. And what I see out there is a lot of people selling 7-figure fantasies, 6-figure dreams. So for this workshop, what I'm offering is a simple way to design an offer based on your uniqueness and sell it now at a price that more closely expresses what you're truly worth, so that you can continuously do this, continuously sell these offers, soon enough 5 figures, and enjoy the process of selling them, fulfilling them, while creating huge impact. And that is because what I've found, what I've observed, and I think it just based on the science of how this works, the way to become that 6-figure coach is to start by consistently selling those 4-figure offers, to move from 3 figures to 4 figures. Once you're crushing 4-figure, move to 5 figures, and so on. Really, that is how it works. So let's do something. Let's create something that we can implement now, that's going to be effective now. That's not, that's not a pie in the sky. Like that's something that's actually going to be a step that drives us to the goals that we want. But first, let's bust some high value offer myths. Boom. Let's be Mythbusters. That was my favorite show of all time. It's actually so funny. My friends back in the day, they used to say like, oh, Hersh doesn't believe anything. And it's really been one of those things that has stuck with me, is wanting to bust the myths, use science, use the arts to get to what's really true. The idea of selling these big 10, not necessarily big, these $1,000 to $10,000 packages is a really attractive thing to coaches, consultants, mentors, healers. But the problem is that so many, while they want to do it and they have intentions to do it, so many stop before putting out this first 4-figure offer. And I don't think it's necessarily their fault. I think people get lost in the weeds. I think there's really 2 reasons that people don't do don't play big. Don't put out what they really want to. Number one is the world telling you what you should and should not be doing with your life. We've seen so much of this year. And number two is the world telling you what you should and should not be doing with your business. And, you know, when you start doing that business research, typing Google, how do I grow my business? There's going to be so many different things, and you just don't have the ability to do all of them at once, nor do you want to. And the thing is, it's not that any of these are wrong. It's just that when you get lost in the weeds of digital marketing, people tend to focus on these things in an order that's not effective, right? There's definitely an order, and that's really the game of what building a business is. It's like, all right, we're not going to reinvent the wheel. We know there's a lot of things out there that work, but how do I order them in the most specific order that aligns with my goals? That's going to get me to that ideal vision, that future where I want to be. So that's the big game. But what happens between these outside world pulling us in all these directions is often really, I think, one of two things in a spectrum. It's thinking but not doing, paralysis by analysis and inaction. And then the other end of the spectrum, it's just grinding. It's doing but not thinking. It's unintentional action. You know, Yoda can toe the line because he's a master at this. But for us, we don't want to get lost in not doing. We don't want to get lost in doing. We want to be, intentional action is really where it's at for us. So what do these things lead to? It's playing small. It's stress and scarcity. It's not taking risks. It's searching externally, doing things inefficiently, doing all the things right. And, I think that the biggest risk is not taking risks at all. And when we're in a state of this stress, scarcity, of listening to others, of being externally motivated, of searching for answers externally, there's no way that we can create that full expression of what we can offer and how we can create. There's no way that we can be bold with a prospect on the phone, making that bold proposal and like being a fearless coach. We need to be in a state of high energy, of creation. And so that's where we want to be. And just to even bring this home deeper into real life context, here's how these states often manifest. And these are things I've seen all of the time. Entrepreneurs getting trapped with these loops in inaction, unintentionality. And here's my definition of what these things mean for coaches who are just getting going or coaches who are trying to scale. I'm not launching a high ticket offer because I'm working on my website. That's avoiding marketing. That's avoiding sales. You're trying to generate more leads. Well, if you're someone who's just getting going, you're just avoiding your current network that you've spent your entire life building trust with, and people are ready to work with you. Because you're rebranding, well, that's just avoiding throwing a picture of yourself up there and putting a caption with your words or creating a video expressing yourself authentically. Because you're refining a program, the best way to refine a program is to launch it, to get someone on it, to see how it goes, and then to realign or redefine or refine afterwards. Working on a certification, once you have the minimum that you need, any further certifications before creating your own thing is just avoiding creating your own thing. Instead of getting testimonials, I think that, if you're trying to do all this free work to get testimonials, that's really just an avoidance of owning what you know that you can do right now. Gaining more experience, you can be unless you're trying to become a black belt in jiu-jitsu, doing that, you got to have experience under a master coach. But there comes a time when it's just really time to learn the hard lessons along the way. And those hard lessons are really the thing that are going to launch us into a new exponentially progressed universe rather than like taking this incremental steps forward. Another one that I hear is I'm trying to, add this other revenue source. I'm trying to add another revenue stream, but, I think that is often just avoiding the one thing that matters. And when we can create one revenue stream that makes all others insignificant, then there's no need to spread ourselves thin. And then one of the biggest ones is people, and I thought this in the beginning. In the beginning, I wanted to write this blog, build a following like Tim Ferriss, write a book, and then eventually launch the business, based on the book and stuff. But what I quickly realized is that instead of building a following, you got to build a business, and the following will come by accident. So here is where we unlearn everything we have learned. I knew Yoda would come through the whole time, and it's just time to do, because there is no try. You don't need a website that gets clicks. Instead, we need to create conversations that get clients. We don't need new leads. So we need to take the lead with our current people. We don't need a new brand. You need to be your own brand. You don't need a perfect program. Be prolific and launch an imperfect program. That's how you work towards that perfect program, but you'll never have a perfect program. Instead of getting a new certification, a new system, create your own system. You don't need those new testimonials. You need to own your promise. You don't need more experience. You need to take the experience that you have already, the entire story, everything that's gotten you to this point. We need to reframe that in something that is more empowering towards the life that you want to live. You're going to give yourself credit to what you have created and, get rid of this imposter syndrome, because everything has brought you to this point. And now let's use that point to propel you forward. We don't need complicated long-term contracts. You don't really need contracts at all. I don't use contracts, because when I deliver on my promise, there's really there's no need for them. It's just another complication. So instead of having these long-term contracts, sell these short, high-value offers that people love, or people don't love, then you know what you should make next, or you have a better idea of where to go next. You don't need another revenue stream. As I mentioned before, let's create one revenue stream based on your specific strengths, your passion, what your people need, that makes everything else insignificant. Then once you have that, then you can go play and create some more revenue streams. We don't need a following. We need to build a business. And when you build that business that serves deep need, you're going to get a following by an accident. Instead of doing everything, let's do that one thing that matters. Let's create that specific offer that solves a specific problem for a specific person. Let's focus on our maximum point of leverage. Focus on what we can control and distance from what we can't. Spend less time on things that don't matter, more time on the things that matter most. Don't worry about being perfect. Start being prolific. Stop consuming information. Start creating impact. And for me, it's not even about the 20/20. It's about the 10% that leaves 10x. It's about finding that one point of leverage. And that one point of leverage really is our impact point. So this is the thing that I always come back to. It's the thing that I always go back to. It's, who can I serve most powerfully? What is their primary problem? How can I better understand and refine my unique process? And at the merger, it's the ultimate prize. What does my person want most? And what happens when I resolve their primary problem with my unique process? What happens? That's the impact point. That's the ultimate prize. And when we have that offer that is for our perfect psychographic, that solves their problem with our step-by-step process, that achieves their ultimate prize, then we're good. Then it's marketing and sales from there. And when you really start to implement this, some amazing things can happen, and you can really start to grow rapidly, because we built that foundation. I just want to show this fun thing, which was my first sale on my first day, and then my day 260.